Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new to me, my channel is all about loving our makeup collections as they currently are, being critical of new makeup releases, and being very considerate when we do decide to make a makeup purchase. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Merit Beauty shot me an email and said, would you like to try some of our things? And I said, well, yeah, absolutely. And so now I'm going to review them for you in a very thorough, detailed manner. I'm sure that the runtime of this video is extensive, but to be fair to me, we are reviewing a complexion product, and I'm very thorough when I review a complexion product. So if you are only looking for a certain type of thing, be sure to check the chapters down on the little scrolly bar to see if there's anything you specifically want to look at. Go ahead and jump to there if you want to. I know that sitting through this long of a video isn't for everyone. Before we jump into the video, I want to say a couple of things. Merit did give me an affiliate link. It's just an affiliate link. There's no monetary savings should you use that link. And just keep in mind that I'm not telling you that you need any of these things. No one needs any new makeup. But if you were intrigued enough to purchase anything, if you use that link, I receive a small commission for any purchases you make through it, but don't feel pressured to do that. I really would appreciate, though, if you would subscribe if you are new to my channel, and if you would like this video to get it into the eyes of more people. And I'm on Patreon if you would rather monetarily support me there as opposed to buying a Merit product. That's up to you. No pressure to do any of that. Liking and commenting is so plenty. First thing I'm going to send you to is the shortest of all of the reviews. I'm going to show you just some footage of me applying and talking about this Merit blush, and when we come back, we'll talk about the signature lip. In this segment of the video, we're going to talk about the Merit blush. This is the shade Beverly Hills. I believe it has some kind of more official title of the name, and I will put that above my head. Now, of all of the Merit products, this is the one that I have the least experience with, but I have been using it quite a bit, but it still feels like the newest one, the one that I have like the least defined feelings on. So before, I don't have anything but foundation down. I'm going to put it down. Now, I do believe that Merit wants you to be the person who swipes this on, but I am not that person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Sonia G mini base here, and I'm going to apply it to my skin, and I'm going to zoom you in while I do this so you can see it up close and personal. There we are with one layer. But you can build this up, and I have built it up. So I'm going to do that for you in case you are someone who enjoys a more blushy look. So what's interesting about me having selected this particular shade of this product is that they have a terracotta shade that's kind of similar to my, like the brown eyeshadow I have on. And if you are familiar with my content at all, you know I love like a terracotta or an orange blush. However, I swatched that in store and in a Sephora, and it did not resonate with me, but this shade did. And this is definitely like, it's not really pink. I don't really know what to call the shade. Like, I guess like more like a mauve shade. But now I do have like a very luminous base down as well, which I think is definitely adding to the shine. But this product is really luminous by itself. And I do think that you could definitely wear it in a way where you do not need to put highlighter on if you are not the highlighter kind of girl. So I can understand and appreciate there are people who aren't into highlight, but I do think that this has a nice glossy finish to it that would like, wouldn't need a highlight, just like a healthy little bit of a glow that comes from this. It is a really subtle blush. So I mean, I kind of ebb and flow with how much blush I wear, but I typically fall on the side of things where I like to wear a heavier blush, just as kind of what I like to do. So what I love about this product, and I wasn't expecting to enjoy this product as much as I did based on my first swatch of it, but like, if you've ever been afraid of a cream blush product because of pigmentation and not being able to blend it out, worry not about this, because this product is kind of foolproof. Now, I say that as having mostly just done tapping it on with my fingers and using a brush. I have no idea how it works doing it this way. But here's the thing. I like to test my products the way I'm going to use my products for the most part, except for foundations. I will try them many different ways. But I don't really want to change the way I do my cream blush in order to make it work. Because dragging it onto your skin isn't always successful, and sometimes that has to do with the base and not so much the product, and I find that infuriating. So I would rather put it on a way where I have found the most foolproof application method across the board, and for me that is either stippling it on with a brush that's designed to apply cream products or using a few fingers and tapping it in, which seems to not disturb product underneath as much. But as I said, this product is going to be really great for someone who wants to try cream products but is afraid of pigmentation, because I definitely have some cream products where if I'm not paying attention, it gets away from me and then I have like a blushier look than I want. But with this is 2 layers of this, and I still think this looks fairly light, fairly natural. And I could, in a world, go heavier than I have with this blush, but this is right where I want to sit. I want it to keep it looking very like fresh and beautiful and easy, but no judgment if you want to go heavier on your blush. So I do think if you like a heavier blush, this isn't it. If I was to make a recommendation for you of a cream blush that has more pigment, the Tower 28 Beach Please blushes are going to be a much better route for you, or even the Phytosurgeon Skin Sparks. I think you would have a better time with those. So for my newcomers or people who don't love a super blushy look, I think you would really enjoy this. It's a very easy product to use. It's like definitely like worth checking out, especially if you only want one blush, right? This feels like that. Merit does a very good job curating and formulating products that are like, if you only had to have one and like it feels really multi-purpose, this is definitely something that fills that category to the T. I hope you enjoyed that little blush review. Very short, very to the point. We're not to the real meat of this video, as Hannah Louise Post would say. We're not to the meat of today's video yet. We're back. Now, if you are not new to my channel, you know I love the signature lip already, but I'm going to show you and tell you why and shoot you to some of that footage of me applying today's lip. Now I'm going to show you some of these signature lips from Merit Beauty. I have 2 of the shades. The shade 1990 was the shade they sent to me in PR, and then I actually went out and bought the shade Slip. So I'm going to swatch them for you. I'm going to start with the shade Slip. It is the lighter of the 2 shades. Both of these are brownie shades. Slip is like a lighter, warm-toned brown. Next up, I will be swatching the shade 1990, and this is supposed to be more of a true brown. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about these lipsticks and how I feel about them. Since I got 1990, I have not worn a lip product that wasn't these except for lip glosses. So anytime I've wanted to put on a lip product, it has been the Merit Signature Lips. And I'm glad I bought a second one because I feel like these are the only two lipsticks that I will be wearing. And what I love about them is that they're not super pigmented. 1990, which is the shade that I'm still wearing, is just such a beautiful brown. The pigmentation of these is very consistent, but it is very, not very sheer. It's like a medium opaqueness, I guess is the way to describe it. So you can definitely see that the color's there. You know what color it's supposed to be, but it's not overtaking your lips. There's not complete saturation. And while I love a big and bold lip, most of the time when I am working on my face, I work from my eyes first, complexion second, and then the last thing I work is my lips. So my lips are often not the star of the show. So something like these, in these two neutral shades, or like warm leaning neutral shades, these brown shades, they're gonna look good with anything that I do on my eyes or my cheek because they're not the star of the show. But in a way, they are the star of the show because they are super comfortable. They feel super nourishing to the lips. And the other thing, my favorite thing about them is they don't travel. Once they're on the lips, they stay where they're supposed to stay. It's other sheer emollient formulas that I have used like this, I feel like they just travel away from my lips completely. I'm not saying that these are like long wearing lipsticks. That is not what I'm promising at all. They are certainly not that. What I am saying to you is you can be confident that once you put it on, you're not going to get it like down here. Like they do transfer a skosh, but I don't think that's the point. They're just a I'm more than happy to reapply these all day just based on how comfortable they are and how beautiful they look on my lips. And ever since I started wearing these, I have gotten only compliments on my lip shades since I started wearing them. And so I just think this is a very stunning formula. Now, like obviously these aren't going to be the be all end all lipsticks for everyone. These are very like time and place lipsticks, but for me, this is it. Like, this is it. I don't get excited about lip products. For me to not only pick one to receive, because I picked this because of Hannah Louise Poston. I picked 1990 because of Hannah Louise Poston. But for me to go out and buy another one is just proof that I love the formula so much. Because what I really should have done is bought a different Merit product to review for you. However, I selfishly wanted a second signature lip. And I was looking at a bunch of the signature lip shades. All of the signature lip shades are really, really pretty. And I think they did a really good job selecting the shades for this type of formula. And I'm not a big pink wearer. Not in my makeup. I don't really always love like pinky tones on my face. But there was a shade called Baby that if it would have been in stock, I probably would have bought it too because I just really like this formula. And Baby was like a really, really beautiful, very like neutral mid-tone pink, and I thought it was really, really pretty. And who knows, maybe down the line it will end up in my collection, but this, like, I don't need another one, so I'm not trying to promote that. The other thing that's really shocking about these is like this definitely looks like Maybelline packaging, but there is weight to it. And not only that, whenever you look at the component itself, this metal is, you know, this is where all the weight's coming from, but it has the beautiful Merit embossing on the bottom. It's just really beautiful. It's just so unexpected once you get in your hands. The experience from the visual looking kind of cheapy whenever you see it in photos and whenever you see it in video, probably like you are now, but like holding in your hands is a different experience. So I have one of Patrick Ta's lipsticks in my hand. So I think this on camera is much more visually appealing, but it doesn't really have the weight that this one does. There's just something, while it looks not so elegant in the hands, it is much more elegant feeling. If that sounds good to you, if any of the ways I described this lip product sounds good to you, this, in my opinion, of the products that I have tried from Merit, which is only 3 different formulas I have tried, 2 of them were Signature Lips, the blush, and the complexion stick. These are the star, in my opinion. Someone may disagree with me, but if I were to recommend anything from Merit that felt worth not only getting in PR, which was worth it because I didn't pay for it, but to go out and buy a second one because I loved it so much. And then basically for the past 30 days, anytime I was wearing makeup, one of these two lipsticks was going on my lips, maybe except I did put on a Pat McGrath gloss at one point, at some time, but it's always been these two. And it's not just because I really want to emphasize that it's not just because not just because they sent it to me. If I would have tried these myself, I would have loved them just as much. And I do think after trying one for free, the testament of me going out to buy myself another one really is saying something. So these are really the star of the show for me. I don't know that I'm done with these because I don't get excited about lip product. And while I do kind of have that thought and that feeling where like you don't need more than one of a specific formula. If you like the formula and the shade, then you don't need another one. That's like kind of the mindset that I live in. But considering I don't get excited about lip products ever and I just want to wear these ones, I don't know. I think at least Baby, the shade Baby would be another shade that I would consider, and maybe a red, but I don't know about the red because I do have some nice, bold, saturated reds that I really enjoy wearing. I just often don't make the lips the star of my show, and in that scenario, these are the perfect lipsticks for that. Welcome back. Are you sitting? Are you ready to talk about the Merit Perfecting Complexion Stick? Because I am. I review foundations and complexion products on my channel quite a bit, and I like to do it a very specific way. And before you start seeing any of the footage, I just need you to know that Merit sent me the Perfecting Complexion Stick and the Signature Lip in 1990. Both the blush and the shade Slip in the Signature Lip were purchased by me. All right, are you ready to jump into the Perfecting Complexion Stick review? Because I'm excited to tell you about it. How this came into my life? Well, this clearly came into my life vis-a-vis PR, but I remember when these came out. I believe that Merit hit the shelves of Sephora right around the time that I left the company, so I never got to see it in person, but I do recall seeing some reviews last year about this product in particular, and I remember seeing them cognitively, but do I remember what people said? No, of course I didn't, but I cannot refuse a complexion product review. So when I was given the opportunity to choose two products from Merit for them to send to me, I knew this had to happen because what do I love to do? Wax poetically. Now, if you're new to my foundation reviews, I want you to know a few things before we get into the real nitty gritty of it all. There are a couple important sections that you should know about that will happen in this video. First things first, I'm going to talk about ingredients. I never talk about ingredients in a way to fearmonger you or to make you feel that if you own a product that has ingredients that some other people find questionable, it's not to judge you. It's just I think we often put so much stuff on our face without really considering what's in it, and that's a little bit worrisome to me. Now, I don't do these deep dives when it comes to cheek products and lip products and eye products as much because kind of foundationally, they're all kind of the same thing, whereas something like a foundation, this is supposed to go all over your face. So I always think it's important to take a step back and be like, well, what is in this? What is in this? So what I like to do in my ingredient section is to shout out both ingredients that I think are very exciting for them to hear in the product. And I also like to just make you aware if there's an ingredient that any of the websites I use for ingredient research say any kind of thing about them, and just make you aware. But it's not to say that that product is bad. I have some products in my collection that I have talked about the ingredients, and some of the ingredients raised questions to other people, but I still use them. So I'm only really talking about it to have you just think about it for a second, and me just think about it for a second, because I think we're often really quick to pull the trigger on products without being considerate about those types of things too. I do extensive testing as far as my application methods. So you'll see in the chapters down below, I'll do a hand application, a sponge application, and a brush application. And I do it 3 different ways because I know that people don't all apply their products the same. And when it comes to foundation, I think that's one of the most important things that people want to see it, how they apply it. And that is why I apply it that way. But But also, I like to find out which way I like to apply a specific formula because it's not always the same. I always want to use a brush, but sometimes brushes don't give me the best results with specific formulas. And so I like to figure out how I'd rather apply it. So you'll see those down there. And then I do an 8-hour wear test, 8 hours plus wear test, where I put the product on at 5:30 in the morning, and then I work for the day, and then I come report back and show you how it looks. So that's all going to be down below. Those are all the little sections within this section. So go ahead and check those out if you want to skip to something in particular. But if you're here to hang, let's get started. And one last thing before we get started. Let's talk about my preferences when it comes to foundation, so you know what point of view I'm coming in this from. I have oily skin. I'm 31 years old. I don't have a lot of the signs of aging yet, but I know they're coming hard and fast for me. So I'm not really concerned about fine lines and things like that. However, because of my oily skin, I do have larger pores on the apples of my cheeks and on my forehead, and so I really like products that will blur, or if they're not going to blur, they don't settle into those pores and make them look more enlarged. And I prefer light to medium coverage when it comes to my complexion products, specifically talking about something I'm putting all over my face. I don't mind something more pigmented underneath my eyes. I prefer a finish that is either skin or more luminous or more radiant. So I do want to start with my expectations when it comes to getting this product. And my expectations were as follows. When it comes to stick foundations, I have a love-hate relationship with them. I always think I like them because I like the idea of just like kind of like drawing some lines and blending it out. But I have used, I think, a couple, but the most recent one I remember using is the Milk Flex foundation stick. And I didn't really get on with that because it made my skin look really flat because of the coverage of it. So I was expecting this to be more elegant than that, and I was hoping that the coverage was a little bit lighter. And based on the way Merit's marketing and the way I view the brand is that this is definitely going to be something that can be worn on its own, but if you want to put other makeup on top of it, you can't. Like, it's an optional step to put more makeup on. So that was kind of what I was expecting this product to be. Now it's time to break down some facts and some claims about this product. This product costs $38. You get 0.13 ounces of product. It promises a medium coverage. It's fragrance-free. This product is certified clean at Sephora. Sephora has a very specific rating system when it comes to clean at Sephora. So just because it says clean at Sephora, that might not mean it's clean to you, but I did want to just say that it is considered a clean formula for Sephora. It is a stick foundation. It is a stick formula. It comes in 20 shades. It's vegan, long-wearing, and has a natural finish. Now, I'm going to read some of the claims directly from Merit's website, and I will remember to film B-roll. I'm going to shoot a little commercial while reading the facts to you directly in Merit's branding from their website. What it is. Get compliments on your skin, not your makeup. We designed this in place of all over coverage so you can make small edits only where you need them. The minimalist can also double as a contour to sculpt and define. Choose a shade 3 shades deeper than your base shade and blend with brush number 1 for a seamless finish. Formulated in partnership with esthetician Biba D'Souza, whose no list includes another 72 potentially acne-triggering ingredients that we eliminate. What it does. Lightweight, hydrating formula wears throughout the day without settling into fine lines. Buildable, light to medium coverage that stays breathable all day. Sea daffodil extract helps diminish the appearance of pigmentation and dark spots. Fatty acids condition skin and lock in moisture. Let's have a little bit of a chat about the ingredients. Now, this is the first time I am doing an ingredient breakdown on a stick foundation, and it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different for me. There was a lot of ingredients that I have not seen before. It's normally pretty consistent when I'm taking a formula and breaking it down. I typically see a lot of the same things, not in the same order, definitely not in the same concentration, but you definitely kind of get used to and see things. You kind of get used to seeing the same things over and over again. But this formula was really different, but it is a stick formula, so I did keep that in mind when I was looking things up. I think the main thing that I saw was there were a lot of waxes in this, and I think that is so that the stick formula keeps its stick shape and doesn't melt and just be goop. So I can appreciate that, but just as a reminder, this is a vegan formula, so all of those waxes are synthetic, so you don't have to worry about them being like made from beeswax or anything like that. Okay, I'm so happy about the next thing I'm about to say to you. The next thing I'm about to say to you was the most exciting part of me looking at these reviews. This is the first formula, and I think like the past 5 foundations or complexion products that I have reviewed that doesn't have alcohol in it. No alcohol, alcohol free. Now, I'm not actually that opposed to having alcohol in my beauty products, but in a lot of the formulas I've been looking at recently, it was like the 3rd or 4th ingredient was alcohol, and I was like, that feels too high. That feels so high. I don't mind if it's like buried a little in the ingredient list, because if it's at the top, it just means there's more alcohol than all of the other things that come after alcohol. And so I do not want alcohol to be one of my first ingredients when I'm looking at a formula. The reason I point this out is like, alcohol is a controversial ingredient to put in any kind of like both skincare and anything essentially you're putting on your face, because there seems to be inconclusive evidence on either side to argue whether or not there are long-term harsh effects of wearing alcohol on your skin over a period of time. And that is why some people don't want alcohol in their products, but some people say it's not doing any damage to your skin. That's up for you to do your research on and come to your own conclusion. But I just thought it was noteworthy to say that this is the first formula in a while that I have not seen alcohol in. Bonus points for merit. There are a couple of humectants in here. There's both glycerin and, hold on, I have to read this one, caprylyl alcohol. I'll spell that out for you right here. So if you're not familiar with what a humectant is, humectants are this beautiful type of ingredient that appear both in skincare and in foundation products that pull moisture from the air and bring it into your skin. And that's a really great thing. Now, I don't always love buzzword skincare ingredients in my foundation products because I don't believe that my foundation should be skincare. That's just not who it is. It's not what it is, because if you are wearing foundation as skincare, but you have moisturizer underneath it and primer underneath it, you have 2 barriers between your foundation and your skin. But I love about a humectant is that moisture property, I still want my skin to get moisture, right? And I think that a foundation is allowed to do that, but I don't think a foundation should be like where I'm getting my retinol or my vitamin C or my hyaluronic acid. Humectants are a little bit different to me. I feel like they perform a little bit differently. So I love to see a little bit of a humectant moment inside of my foundation product. And I'm actually very happy to report, for the first time, the very first time in any of my foundation reviews, I think this is, I don't know, I think I'm upwards of 10 foundation reviews that I've done in this format. This is the first foundation that didn't have any ingredients that any of the websites that I typically use say that any of these ingredients could potentially be harmful. And that's first. So I'm going to go ahead and have to say that this formula probably is actually pretty clean in a general sense. But if you are someone who is into clean beauty and you have very specific ways in which you would like your formula to be clean, you must be looking at these ingredients yourself. I can't make that decision before you. Clean beauty is something that I am not particularly dived into. I don't think that clean beauty is necessary, but I can respect and appreciate those of you who very much need your formulas to be clean, because that is a choice that you have made. So I'm pretty sure you're doing that work yourself, but in case you aren't, I do think this seems to be a cleaner formula than many of the things that I have reviewed recently. And finally, there are silicones in here. So I know some people like to avoid silicones in their product. I do think in a stick formula, I think you're going to be hard pressed to find a stick formula that isn't going to have silicones in it. But just figured I should point that out there because some people don't like that silicone-y feel. I'm about to send you into the 4 days of testing the product. They're kind of almost filmed in a vlog sense. These are it's kind of like my first impressions, me learning about the product, me learning how I like to manipulate the product. So these have some runtime to them because I'll be saying my thoughts out loud to you and while my experience. I also give you some overhead and natural light footage so you can see the foundation performing in different lights. So that's what you can expect to see. I'm going to shoot you off to my hand application of this product. It is day 1 of testing the Merit Beauty Perfecting Complexion Stick. Now, I normally like to do first impressions at this point. However, I have had this product for just a skosh of time and I have used it a couple of times. So I've already disposed of the box and recycled it, but we'll do some close-up shots so you can get them while we're here. So here is the stick. On the bottom, this is your screw. I will say, when you're looking at it, it is really hard to tell which side is the top unless you were looking at the sticker at the bottom. I did buy, well, I didn't, I was sent this in PR, but I was sent the shade Silk. That was the shade. I did get to pick out the shade. This is what the shade looks like. And it is, so whenever I think of packaging like this, the only other thing that I really have in packaging like this would be Westman Atelier, but it is much longer. They are both weighted. This is much, much heavier than this, but there's still like a good weight to it. It still feels nice in the hands, because if it felt chintzy and it was in this plain of a packaging, it would feel like not as elegant. So I do appreciate that Merit does add some weight to it and gives you at least that experience. The packaging feels really nice. I do think their logo is really cute. It's like super cute. I really like their logo. Now, if you're not familiar, today I'm going to be blending the product in with my fingers because I like to test a bunch of different ways to see which way I prefer. I like to use primer during my testing period. I do think, however, unlike many of my other trials in foundations, I will be probably playing a little bit with the primer I use, because I do think this is going to work better with the glowy makeup serum, but I typically like to use the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I like this because it's a primer that just like gives your skin that little bit of prep before you're putting on foundation without doing too much. It's like, it's not supposed to do anything but like hold your foundation on your face, and then also it has vitamins. It's vitamin enriched. So those are like the two things that it does. It's a really pretty product, so I really like to use this for the purposes of testing. But because of the nature of a foundation stick, I have found in the past that like it sometimes gets really tough to blend out. Now, I'm not saying that's about this product because I'm still early daysing it, but just so you're aware, like these are things that I'm thinking of. Now that I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I look like I got some sun the other day. Okay, so in tradition, I'll put this on, then we'll do half of my face, we'll check in, we'll zoom in, we'll take a look at both halves of my face, and then we will move along to D2. So I'm ready for application. I'm just gonna put some stripes on my face. Here we are, halfway done. Foundation, no foundation. Okay, I'm gonna finish up my face and then I will report back to you how I felt about using this today, and we will move along from there. The full face is on. I'm gonna zoom you in so you can see the skin up close. I actually have some redness over here. For the purposes of just seeing how this layers on top of itself, I'm just gonna add another stroke here and another stroke here. I have the most redness at the high points of my cheeks, and so I'm not really concerned about this redness, but it is just like, it's also a good tester of the coverage of a product. Okay, that it layered beautifully. I like this. I like this a lot. Now, unlike whenever I tried some other foundations I have tried on this channel with my reviewing, if you've seen that content, there's a simplicity and elegance to this that I don't feel like other products have. And when I say simplicity, this definitely, if there's anything I put on my skin that is like actually just like my skin, but better, it's this. Like I don't think it's adding any kind of like special finish. It's not matte. It's not Man, I'm trying to record a video. It definitely just like looks like my skin but improved, and I do feel like when you zoom in it's pretty imperceptible. However, if you are someone who has facial hair, you got to be really careful blending it into your beard area. Now, this isn't exclusive to this product. Any foundation complexion stick product I have used, I've had that issue because it's designed to hold its shape until it's not. And what happens is, because of that, I do just find that stick foundations do require a little bit more attention when you're blending them out, but specifically in the facial hair areas, it's just a little tougher to get onto the skin, so you have to do a little bit more work. So for that reason, that's why I want to try a couple different primers with this to see if there's a way that makes that a little bit easier for me to blend in. I don't really view that as a con because that has been an experience that I've had with stick products in the past in my facial hair area, so I don't really consider that a ding. Now, my only concern about this so far is that you don't get too much product. You get 3.7 grams. I don't know what that relates to because it's not fluid, it's grams. So I'll compare this to some other foundation sticks to see what's the most normal for a foundation stick. I do believe that this is supposed to be like your multi-use product, and it's supposed to be like for spot concealing or all over your face, however you want to use it. I really like the way this looks. I am actually not going to be doing a full face today. I have some other things I have to do today, so I will just go straight to natural light and overhead light, and then tomorrow I will put some stuff on top of it when I'm testing it. But today I don't have the time. But I wanted to get this roast to cooking, you know? I wanted to get started on it. It looks really good. At least with my blind eyes. Hold on, let me see. Let me put my third and fourth eye on. I do think that if after all my testing I continue to really like this, there's some competition for some moving around in my foundation collection for sure. But this is nice. This is really nice. I don't know how much this costs though, and that might be a factor on like whether or not it'd be something that I would consider buying again. But let me show you an overhead light and then also natural. So here we are in natural light. While we're in natural light, I'll be like zooming in. So I need you to, assuming you are not visually impaired, I need you to use your eyes to take this in, and then I will comment on it for anyone who might be visually impaired and can't see as well. So another thing that's really nice about this, I was able to put this on and not contour or anything. Like it's not the kind of foundation where you like need to recontour your face. And I even mean just like adding blush and bronzer, you know, like not doing the full contouring experience. Looking at this, like I feasibly could go throughout my whole day without doing anything extra. It's pretty undetectable. I think if you're someone who doesn't wear makeup but you want that little oomph and not anyone to like perceive you as a person who wears makeup, maybe like even like like someone who's like particularly masculine, I think they might like this product just like based on the way it's performing so far. And also based on the other couple times I have used this product, I don't think that this is something that people would need to powder. I would probably powder it based on my skin type, but it doesn't have the feeling like I need to set it. Like I didn't powder this today. Like I said, I have some other things I need to do. So this is an unpowdered look, but I do normally powder my foundations in my reviews. Okay, so as far as how it looks in the natural light, it looks excellent. Again, it continues to be undetectable and just makes my skin look really good. It makes my skin look really good. Let's move over to overhead light. This would be the true test. This would be, I guess, the thing I'd be most concerned about. Here we are in overhead light. And it still looks pretty excellent. So I could see this, I'm seeing the vision merit. I'm loving the vision. We're here. We've done it. Hello, it's time for un, deux, trois. Day deux. I'm not French, let me try that again. It's time for day 2 of the Merit Perfecting Complexion Stick. So in yesterday's video, I mentioned that I did want to try today the Laneige Glowing Makeup Serum underneath this product. And I'm doing that because of it being a stick foundation. I think the qualities of this will help make it more emollient to make it easier to spread into my skin. And yesterday when I was washing off this, which you know I didn't put anything on top of it yesterday, I noticed that it looked really heavy on the inner parts of my eyes. So I do think I'm going to avoid putting it directly there. and then like do a line here and blend it up into there. And so hopefully instead of like having all of the product sitting right there, I will just blend the product up into that space. Because it just looked a little thick, a little heavy. Just didn't look as good as it did on the rest of my face. So this might be a product where like I would definitely have to use it with a concealer, but since I don't use concealers during this part of my testing, just to see how things perform, I'm just going to avoid putting it there, blending things up into there. And I don't know if that would be a problem for everyone. It just was like heavy for my eyes. But I'm going to prime my face right now, and then we will get moving with the sponge application. The Glowy Makeup Serum is on. I'm going to start applying. I'll start with the right half of my face, and then we'll check in. Foundation on this side of my face, none on this side. I do want to point this out for the purposes of while we're looking at my skin today. This is definitely making this much glowier, but that is what this primer is designed to do. When I used the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, it did not look this glossy, which is fine. This is a finish that I'm very fond of. Otherwise, I wouldn't be keeping this in my makeup collection if it's not something that I enjoyed. What I will say is that actually went a lot better than anticipated. I kind of expected to have a lot of difficulty blending things out with the beauty sponge just because of the nature of this product. But I do also think that this serum made it much easier to spread. So far, I'm liking the combo of these two better, and I like the sponge better, but now the problem with this testing this way, I don't know if I like the sponge application more because the sponge application would have been better, or because the Glowy Makeup Serum made it easier and more malleable to spread out. However, I like what's going on here. I'm going to do the other half of my face. Just double checking to make sure it like was so much easier to blend into my facial hair today. Again, I do think that's more a testament to this than the sponge, because I just imagine that if I went in with the damp sponge, but the dampness of the sponge might also have improved the spreadability of the complexion stick. Either way, I'm going to zoom you in. We're going to take a look at the skin. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed this combo much better than yesterday's. As far as application, I also think it looks really good on my skin. Yet again, I do think this provides a lot of the things that I like in a foundation or a complexion product. I do just think so far in my testing, like what I'm thinking is that I would still want to use concealer with this. Like, they kind of boast this product as being your multi-purpose complexion stick. Like, use it as concealer, use it as this. Now, I do have friends, coworkers from Sephora, former coworkers from Sephora, who have mentioned that they like this as a spot concealer. So maybe less under the eyes, but more so in areas that you have like a breakout that you're trying to cover up or something like that. They said it was really good for that. And that's not something I actually never do that. Even if I would have something that I want to cover up, I don't typically do that. That's not part of it. Also, I do feel like with the sponge today, it covered my redness a little bit better. So I don't know. I do feel like I have, it doesn't feel, but it appears to me like I have like, it has a bit more coverage with the sponge, which is common. It normally goes like lightest with hands, second like medium with sponge, and then more full coverage with a brush, but this sponge really did something. I'm impressed. I'm actually going to record another video. I'm going to be powdering this today because I do think it needs to be powdered based on my little bit of wearing yesterday. I worked out in it, and as I was sweating, I just saw like it didn't look bad when I was done. Actually, it looked pretty good for what it was after it was done, but whenever I was sweating, I could just like see the foundation just like in my sweat as it was like hitting my workout mat. So, you know, you live, you laugh, you learn, you love. I'm gonna finish the rest of my face in my other video, and then I will show you in overhead light and hopefully natural light, assuming that the natural light's still there by the time I finish my other video. Oh my god, this strap has been out the whole time. Pretend you didn't see that. For setting my face, I will be using the Pat McGrath setting powder, and just so you know that that's what I'm doing. But okay, I will see you real soon. Here we are in natural light. We have a lot going on our face, so I would say to focus on this area and like my nose and front cheek area. I really do prefer it with the glowy makeup serum. Like that's like 100% for sure the tea. Let me turn the overhead lights up a little bit. So I think that was a really good idea not to apply the foundation stick so close to the eye, because like bringing it up with the sponge definitely was a better, like it doesn't look as like thick as it did yesterday whenever I was like, when I noticed that when I was washing off my face. So I'm actually immediately going to take all of this off and I'm going to work out. We have a really valid and great system going here. It is day 3 of testing the Merit Beauty Perfecting Complexion Stick. So to recap yesterday for me, because it's actually been more than a second since it happened, I used the Glowy Makeup Serum from Laneige. So with the brush today, I think I am going to do this combo. I really wish I had some kind of oil that wouldn't affect the finish of this. However, this is the best I have because I really much preferred, it wasn't really the finish that I liked, it just liked the way, the malleability of the product over top. So we love to see it. So we're just gonna jump in. Okay, so I bought something, okay. I haven't talked about this yet on my channel because, well, I just got it today, like it just came. So, okay, tea moment, Tivana. This is an aside. This isn't part of the foundation review, so I will put a timestamp here for you if you are only interested in seeing the application. Okay, I watched Hannah Louise Poston. Hannah Louise Poston uses green color corrector. I don't know if I believe in green color corrector. Like, I understand the theory of green color, so it's not that I don't believe that it works or does what it's supposed to do. What I have noticed doing these foundation reviews is I often talk about the redness on the high points of my cheek, which isn't really bad. And I'm not really self-conscious about it. However, you know, like, so you like sometimes just like want that, just like a really perfect look with like no seams in it. I thought, well, I can try this. So I bought the Chanel one. I know that Hannah hasn't posted her review of the green color correctors, but I was in Nordstrom, I saw it, I bought it. Well, I bought it and I had to have it shipped to me. It's interesting. It's interesting. Look at this. I'm just showing you real quick. See how it's like packaged? It almost looks like it's like a putty that's in there. And whenever Hannah uses it, it always looks so shiny and glorious. So on this half of my face, I will be testing this underneath the Merit, but I will leave this cheek no color corrector. So I just wanted to see if it makes a difference for me. Okay, so that's a new variable, but we have already seen the coverage of this product, and we also have another cheek. Okay, I just got it today. I really want to use it, and that's really what it boils down to. That's why that is why this is happening. Anyway, I'm gonna apply the serum and I will be right back. I'm gonna apply the color corrector. I'm gonna just skip to whenever it's on. Just dab that on, I guess. Hannah usually uses the foundation brush that she intends on using, so I guess I'm gonna do that. Okay, I think I get it. I think I get it. I think I get it. But, you know, let me actually do what we came here to do. On the right half of my face, I'm gonna apply this with the brush, and then we will check in the middle as we always do, and then we will finish off the face. Complexion stick. No complexion stick. Also, keep in mind, I had coverage down with the concealer, with the color corrector. I wasn't really expecting the color corrector to have like coverage. I was just like expecting like neutralization, but it definitely has coverage. So I would say this is maybe skewed. I would say look at my forehead. That's going to be your best look at the coverage versus my cheek, which looks like it has a lot more coverage than it has the other days. I do think that is a result of me using the color corrector. I'm going to do the other side of my face, and then we'll take a look at this side of my face with the brush application just to take a look at the redness. I think that I'm a little too reflective with my eyes and my face today because I'm so fair. I'm gonna zoom you in so we can take a closer look. Okay, you can definitely see like redness on this half of my face, which is fine. I don't mind my redness. This is just a test. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Okay, anyway, so this would be the coverage that you would get if you weren't using like a color corrector like I did that had some coverage to it. So we're still seeing the skin through. I think what's probably coming across to you is that this feels really fussy, but this is just the first time that it has come up that maybe the Bobbi Brown primer wasn't the best solution for this product. And it might just be for me because I do have facial hair, which I do think with this product in particular changes a little bit of things. And if you've ever used a foundation stick, because of how you apply them to the skin, they work a little bit different. And this is the first foundation stick I've reviewed on my channel. It's not the first foundation stick product that I have used ever, but it's the first one I've used on my channel. So like that problem of it like getting into my facial hair and sometimes like I'm missing the blend, that's not this product's fault. I do think it's just like the way stick formulations are formulated, right? When I use other stick products, I'm not using them in this area, unless it's like a contour stick, which I haven't used a contour stick in quite some time. It's really natural coverage still. It looks really nice. It's very, I think like the good word to come up with, it's very simple. It is just a very simple, your skin but better look. Now, when I take a look at the side with the green color corrector underneath, this is really nice. This is really nice. It has a little more coverage, right? And I like light coverage. I like both. I want to be very clear that I am not self-conscious about my redness, but you know, like how you were just like want like that level up. This feels like that level up. And I think this would happen obviously with anything that I put on top of it that has the light coverage. I would get that more of that perfected feeling happening over here. And then anyway, sorry, I really screwed the pooch by like introducing a new thing today because I'm like now analyzing different things. But when I look at the skin, it still looks really good. Now, I would say this is very atypical of me, but for me and the purposes of my face, I liked this the best with the beauty sponge, which almost never happens, but I think the dampness of the beauty sponge and then this making it just a little more spreadable was the perfect combination because even through my facial hair, I wasn't having issues. And I wouldn't call them huge issues. It was much easier to blend in through my facial hair, which is not as big of a problem whenever we are talking about cream formulas or gel formulas or liquid formulations. It's just like not a thing I have to be as concerned about because that's gonna not really stick to my facial hair. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this, I think. I'm obviously still gonna do my wear test, so we'll see tomorrow. But I think that's gonna go really well. And tomorrow, I promise I won't wear the green color corrector. Or I might. No, I won't, because we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna be fussing with longevity. I'm gonna finish the rest of my face. I'm gonna record a video or two, and then I will show you in natural and overhead light what this looks like. Okay, I will see you real soon. Here we are in some natural light. This is the side that has the color corrector. This is the side that doesn't. Now that I have so much more makeup on, it's like a little bit harder to tell because there's a lot covering things up, but we're looking good. And we're going over here. I think Riot's gonna join me. Riot, come here. Come here. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, come on. Come on. Come here. Hi. Say hello to the people. Don't be rude. Say. Can you be cute for me for just 1 second? Hello. Good morning. Is there still eyeliner on my face from yesterday? Yes. Has everything else been removed? Yes. It is 5:22 in the morning. Today I'm listening to an old episode of Bitch Sesh, which is a Real Housewives podcast featuring the guest Michelle Williams. Michelle Collins. But I'll be using this and I'll be using the sponge today for the Merit. We're doing the wear test, babes. So I'm just going to do it on camera. I'm going to play some nice music for you while I do this. I have earpods in. Is this weird? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. But I will see you on the other side of applying my makeup. It is 5:37. I am now done with my makeup. I'll zoom you in so you can get a better look on it. Sorry for the noise in the background, but I'm operating at like 7% right now. So here we are. We'll check in at like 9:30ish. Normally I like to check in around 10, but I think I have a meeting at 10 today, so I probably won't be able to check in. I look a lot more alive than I did. I was using a lot of cream on it. All of it worked beautifully. The Fenty, oh, I can zoom you out. Did use a lot of cream today. I used the Fenty Cheeks Out. I used the Chanel Healthy Glow Bronzer. The Glowy Makeup Serum. It worked a little bit differently today with the sponge, which is just interesting. So that was a little bit inconsistent. I also did use the Merit Blush today, which I really like this formula. Pat McGrath. Natasha Denona on the eyes. I love these for, if I was that girl who had to like wake up at, well, I am the girl who has to wake up at 5:30, but I only ever put makeup on when I'm doing wear testing at 5:30 in the morning. These are really handy. Just like 2 colors, boom, boom, it's on your eyes. We're moving. This is actually a really pretty eye look. Okay, so I will see you in about 4 hours. Hello, I am checking in. It's like 9:45, so we've had 4 hours of wear, and surprisingly, I expected this to look a lot worse at this juncture, just based on experience, especially using the glowy makeup syrup underneath. Just like, it's not as gripping as the Bobbi Brown, but like everything is holding its own. It still looks really good around my nose and on my forehead. Yeah, I'm very pleased with this check-in. It's going a lot better than I actually thought. I was kind of feeling like this wasn't gonna have some wear time. I didn't think it was gonna have any wear time, but it's proving me wrong. Hi, it is the end of my work day, which means I've had this makeup on for, well, it's 2:55. Ignore Shawn Mendes. Ignore him. It is 2:55, so if I started at 5, 7, 5, I don't know. I worked for 8 hours in it, so like 8+ hours. Let's just say that. Okay, I'm gonna zoom you in so we can take a look at this together. Well, I'm gonna have just you look at it. I'm happy to report that I'm pretty pleased with the way this stayed on my face, which actually I really wasn't expecting. Let me powder it for you. I don't even know. It's like, the thing is, of all of the foundation tests that I've had, this one needs the least amount of powder at the end of the day. But I think because I've mentioned this before, is that like, this is not really a product that has like a glowy finish. It's not a matte finish. It's definitely like a skin finish. But I am probably this is the most pleased with the way a foundation has looked finish-wise, sans powdering after my wear test. And we're good. We're good to go. Just a little bit of powder was all we needed. We're ready. Ready for the day. Where's the day going to take us? Probably nowhere. But we are ready for a day. So I will throw it to Tom to the final thoughts on this foundation. I'm back to tell you my final thoughts on this product. I really enjoyed this product. It is exact, like when I told you at the beginning what I thought it was going to be, it turned out to be. And whenever I was telling some friends that I was getting PR from Merit, I only heard praise from the things and the experiences that people had with Merit products. So I had kind of really high expectations coming into it. I do believe that they were met. I also kind of, weirdly enough, oftentimes I don't really agree with brands' claims about their products 100%, but it's like what you see is what you get. They say it's not a concealer. They say it's not a foundation. And I'm going to have to agree. Like, I don't say it's really one thing or the other. Even though you are putting on a makeup product, a makeup item, it just doesn't look like you're wearing makeup. I hope you could see in the close-ups when I would have you zoomed in to look at my skin after I applied it, it didn't look like I had anything on. And not in a bad way. I'm not saying that it didn't do anything, because whenever you zoom out, you start getting that like light refraction. So you start seeing the slight blur and enhancements that it does. But I do feel like when you get really close, it's like, do you have anything on your face? And that's exactly what the brand is promising to you. And what I like about it, it has like this very natural finish, And because of the light coverage of it, if you are putting it all over your face, kind of like a foundation product, you don't need to put anything on top of it. It's because sometimes what happens when you put a foundation product on, you lose all your features, right? And that's why we have things like contouring and bronzing and blush to bring those features back, because we're essentially creating like a flat slate. But you don't lose the contours of your face with this product because it doesn't have that kind of coverage. So what I'm saying here is, if you are someone who doesn't really like wearing makeup but just needs that little something to make you feel like you're a little more polished, or you're just feeling a little cruddy that day. And I mean this for maybe even men who are interested in just like a little bit of touching up, or, you know, men or masculine people who are not interested in looking like they're wearing makeup. I do think you would get a lot out of this product. And I do think when you're looking at the packaging, it's super sleek. It doesn't feel like feminine or masculine. It's very neutral in the sense when you're like have it in your hands. I don't think that anyone would look at you holding that and be like, that's foundation. Some food for thought for those of you who may be here wondering if that's the kind of product this is. I do think that I think you would like it and get something out of it, because it doesn't feel like you're wearing makeup either. It doesn't have like it doesn't have that feeling. It doesn't feel like that on the skin. However, if you are someone who has facial hair, I just would say be very careful around your facial hair area. It gets a little tough to blend. I do think it's the formula. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. It is a stick foundation. It's supposed to stick to things, so it does stick to the hair. So you just have to make sure you're taking extra special care in that facial hair area to get everything blended out, because I definitely had a couple times where I was wearing it and I like certainly didn't blend it out the best underneath here, and I'm like, ugh. So just be careful if you do decide to buy this and you are applying it, that you're getting that facial hair area really well blended. So a couple of things I would like to reflect on that are factual. The brand, there's only 20 shades in this. However, when you look at the gradient, I'll post a picture of it up here. When you look at the gradient of it, it is a pretty good gradient. Now, there are still gaps that they could fill, and they could definitely go both lighter and deeper, maybe a couple more shades. And I think that that would be maybe a smart thing for them to do, is just like expand a little bit. But the nature of this formula, I would say, is like pretty adaptable. It's like pretty adaptable. I don't like to use that as an excuse, but I think recently I've had some like foundation trauma where everyone is releasing only 12 shades. So for some reason, seeing 20 was like, oh my God. But not only that, the 20 shades, there is a gradient where it's like, it does look like we were trying to hit as many things in between as we could with, I guess, the self-constraint, the self-constraint that Merit put on themselves of only releasing 20 shades. I do think looking at those 20 shades, it's like we kind of have a good range. But like I said, it's not perfect. They definitely could add more shades to round this out even better. We've come to my major gripe about this product. My gripe is how much I'm getting for $38. I want to break it down for you. Now, buyer beware. Let it be known that I'm well aware that Merit is selling this to me not as a foundation, not as a concealer, but something that's the best of both worlds. So I can understand and appreciate that, but let's break it down. I'm going to break this down for you. So I took the time to do some research on some other foundation sticks to just tell you how much product was in them. So the Hourglass Vanish foundation stick has 0.25 ounces, which is almost double. The Huda Faux Filter foundation stick has 0.44 ounces, which is, can't do that math in my head, but quite a bit more product. The Makeup Forever HD stick has 0.44 ounces in it also, and the Westman Atelier foundation stick has 0.31 ounces. Now let's talk about the Westman Atelier foundation stick. This is actually not a product I own, but I want to use it as a point of reference. So the foundation stick from Westman Atelier is $68. The Merit Perfecting Complexion stick is charging $2.90 per 0.01 ounces of product. So to get the same amount as the Westman Atelier product, it would be $90 for Merit. If you're doing it down, breaking it down per ounce. Westman Atelier is a luxury brand, and they are charging essentially $22 less than Merit would charge for the same amount of product. I'm just saying, I don't know. So then I was like, well, let's look at concealers to see if it's more consistent with that. So the Bobbi Brown concealer stick has 0.11 ounces, and that's $32. The Bare Minerals Bare Pro concealer, it has 0.09 ounces, and that's $25. The Tarte Amazonian Clay concealer has 0.07 ounces of product, but also for $25. Now, I say the amount of product is more consistent with a stick concealer. However, Bobbi Brown is charging $32 for 0.11 ounces. And I realize that you're getting a slight bit more with the Merit one. But I think what's happened is, in an attempt to negate that this is a foundation, Merit is calling it a not foundation. And they're promising that you wouldn't need foundation anymore if you use this product. And so therefore they're like calling it a foundation without calling it a foundation. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it feels like I'm getting gypped product, just a slight bit. And my other small gripe is when I applied it directly to the inner corner of my eye here, it looked really heavy and cakey. Now, I was able to work around that by applying the stick just like with a slash here and blending up in there, and I did not look heavy and cakey. So I don't know if you have similar under eyes to me where you have issues where it's just like right here where sometimes it looks like almost like a little bit scaly whenever like it's too thick. Yeah, just put it somewhere else and blend it up into that area and you should be fine. I probably couldn't use this as an under eye concealer. However, I do think this product would be really beautiful if you want no makeup on except for covering up pimples. This is going to be like a really beautiful product for that. Here's the final verdict is I'm actually deciding to put this in my collection permanently for the time being, and I have removed the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer from my collection. But if you want to see my review of the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer, I will link it in the cards up above for you, just for you to check that out in case you were curious about my thoughts. I really liked the tinted moisturizer. It was in my collection permanently either, but I am trying to get down to 4 foundation products, and I want this to be one of those 4 over the Rare Beauty, and that's why I removed it. The too long didn't watch for this complexion stick is, I think it's a really beautiful product. It looks and wears very naturally. My only gripe with it is the amount of product that you actually get for $38. Wow, wow, wow. Well, if you made it this far into the video and you are seeing me and you've been here the whole time, wow, thank you for being a real one. Before we get into all of the other outro things, I want to thank Merit Beauty for sending me these products again to review. That was very kind of you, especially at a creator at my size. That actually means a lot that you would do that for me and believe in me and my abilities to properly review a product. I don't know how else to say that, but that's how it felt to me. And I want to thank them again for giving me an affiliate link. So if you were interested and you are in the situation in which you are ready to purchase from Merit, and only in the situation that you are wanting to purchase from Merit and that I just helped you make your decision. But if you didn't want Merit before this video and you now do, sit on it. You don't need it today. Think about it. Think about if this is going to add to your collection. But I'm going to ask of you, if you didn't want a Merit product before this video and now for whatever reason you do want a Merit product because of how I talked about them and my experience with them, take a look at your collection and see what you have that's going to perform similarly and try that product. Because there might be a reason you haven't bought a Merit product yet. It's because you don't like wearing brown lipstick, but I really like wearing brown lipstick and I have the Merit one, but you might have a brown lipstick that works just for you in your collection already. Maybe you're not a cream blush person, but the way I talked about this cream blush made you really say, I like cream blush. And there's a cream blush in the back of your drawer that you haven't touched in a while. Pull that out, play with that. Maybe you'll remind yourself, that's why you don't really like cream blush and maybe I don't need this product. And then maybe you have a stick concealer in your drawer that you haven't touched in a while and you thought the way that I talked about the Perfecting Complexion stick sounded really gorgeous and fun. Play with that first. And then, if after all of that, you feel that your collection could benefit and that one of these products is going to add value to your collection and is going to be something that you use consistently, only then should you click that affiliate link down below to make a purchase from Merit Beauty. If you're on a low buy, if you're on a no buy, and you might need some convincing to not buy down in the comments, go ahead and leave it there. My little community, my little corner of the internet, we're very big on helping each other out on our no buys, on our low buys, and our budgets. So if you need a little bit of assistance from us down there, please, please, please comment because we will talk you through it and we will have you looking at your own collection just a little bit differently. If you did make it to the end of this video and you're not subscribed to me already, and this was a doozy of a video to make it through, I would love to have you subscribe. You clearly were charmed by me in some facet, in some strange, crazy way. You might have been like, this person? For me. So go ahead and subscribe to me. If you haven't liked the video already, go ahead and like it right now. If you want to support me financially through Patreon, you can definitely do that. All patrons get the same benefits, 2 extra videos a month, and sometimes I do additional stuff like early access to specific days of foundation reviews and all kinds of other sorts of things. So please check that out if you want to, but only if you are financially able to. You don't have to do it. It's just there in case you would want to support me that way. Finally, thank you all for watching so much. And remember to follow your haute and you will find me. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Bye.